Hey, how's it going, guys? Greenwell here. Just want to make a quick video talking about my opinion on the top chainers in Global, since we just got this new banner here with Roberta, who's going to be our fourth new, big 5-star badass chainer. I just want to talk about my opinions on kind of like their rankings, I guess, who's the best, what order they go in, and I guess I'll just get right into it. So I'm going to put Roberta at number 4. I put her at number 4 because she does not have innate imperil on her chaining ability. It's Mystic Thrust. It's only a 4x multiplier, but it doesn't bring down that any kind of like elemental resistance. She does have 3 other moves that can bring down like ice, lightning, and fire resist, but those are separate moves, so it does require a turn of setup. I will say, in instances where you need AoE chaining, which I feel like aren't really that common, but if you need them, she's the best chainer because she can do AoE chaining. Because after she uses one of those Imperil moves, that Mystic Thrust becomes an AoE chain that can chain to 27, just like Orlando. So she's definitely the top chainer if you need AoE, but overall, I definitely put her in at number 4 spot. Now, moving into number 3, I'm going to tie up 2 and 3 right now. I think they're about the same. I put Fryevia and Aileen kind of at the same rank, but they don't really... It's for different reasons. So Fryevia has insane raw damage. She has the highest raw damage in the game if you can gear her best in slot, which does require 2 of her TM, which, see, I don't have. I only have 1. Don't have 2 of her own TM. So you have to pull 2 of her to gear her best in slot. And then you need 4 letters of arms, Creepy Mask, which I don't have because that's event limited. You need Rainbow Robe, and then everything else would be the same. She does, I think I saw it mathed out in the post on Reddit. It's like 50% more damage than Orlando when she's geared to best in slot. However, that's only raw damage, doesn't factor in her chain ability, which is an important point to talk about with Fryevia. Because her chaining is very difficult to do manually without a macro. Now, I don't know about you, but if you're like me, I don't like to use a macro for playing the game normally. I use it for farming Earth Shrine, but when I want to play the game, I want to play it on my phone, don't want to play it on my computer, because I don't know, I just don't like it. I don't want to have to use a macro to perfect chain a unit. And I did see this, so when you fail the perfect chainer, it's pretty common to get like an 8, 6, and a 12 chain. And when she gets that kind of chain, Orlando does outdamage her unless she has 2 of her own TM. But as you can see for me, I don't have 2 of her own TM. So the 2 Orlando's chaining will outdamage her. And it also kind of has a secondary effect, which you don't think about. You wouldn't see in a raw calculation, but when she gets those imperfect chains, even if I had 2 of her own needle, because, I mean, 2 of those on her, even if she's imperfect chaining, is still better damage than Orlando. But the problem with that is it's hard to time with the finisher. You have a much smaller window. Since Orlando, you have like 17 attack hits to get the finisher in there. Fryevia, since she only maxes out the chain to 12 right at the end, you have a very small margin for error for timing that chain finisher. Not to mention, the most physical damage dealers are going to have Excalibur on. It's much easier to find well-geared Orlando friends. I think in practice, Orlando is much better than Fryevia, even though on paper it can look like she comes out ahead. You really need to think about more things than just raw damage when you're looking at units, and for that reason I do put her below Orlando, tied with Aileen. Now, why is Aileen tied here? Well, Aileen can do 19 chains pretty easily. It's not quite as easy as Orlando. Her timing can be a bit finicky, but it's pretty easy to do, at least for me. Again, this all changes based on who you're able to chain. If you can chain Fryevia but not Orlando, then obviously Fryevia wins. This is all based on what works for me. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind. But the reason I'm putting Aileen tied up with Fryevia is, one, she has... let me go to these moves here. She's got this really nice refreshing tool move, and anytime you can regenerate your party's MP, that's a huge plus in my book. It's great stuff. Started with Noctis. I mean, I'll never say no to that on a unit. She can also do backup heals, and she has killer abilities, which just make her awesome in one of the future trials, which is why I'm really putting her tied with Fryevia's between her killers and her MP refresh, and she's also pretty consistent to chain and easy to time with a finisher. Aileen, like Orlandu, has this pile driver move. It's 5 hits, 400% mod total when you count defense ignore. It also reduces earth resist by 50% and can chain to 19. It can perfect chain dual wield to 19, which I did make a video on previously. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link to that in the description. I just made a quick video showing off her perfect chains, talking about builds, talking about units in general, and it's a lot of good information in there. If you've got Aileen and you want to know how to chain her, you're not sure what she's capable of, go check it out. And so that would be our number 2 and 3 spots. So Fryavia and Aileen tied, Roberta's in 4th, and of course number 1, Orlandu. Big Daddy Dick Orlandu, right? As Clake would say. He's really easy to chain, really, really easy to chain. Very easy to gear, since a lot of people, a lot of serious players are going to have Excal, they're going to have Genji Blade, Blade Mastery, Quick Assault, a Large Sword Mastery from a trial. You know, his TMs are going to be pretty common to get. If you pull him, you're probably going to be able to gear him right off the bat, right? But with Fryavia, you're probably going to have to go hang out in the Earth Shrine for 4 days or so. And, you know, just the ease of his chaining. You know, he's so easy to get 27 chains with. He's the easiest out of the 4 chainers we have right now. I think Roberta's pretty easy too, but he's definitely he's just so consistent at it. I mean, Orlandu chains are something you can depend on. Unlike Aileen chains, unlike Fryavia chains, you know, you can't depend on those. But his chains, you can definitely depend on. They're very easy to time with a finisher. A lot of firepower behind him. I mean, he just murders everything. And, you know, so the fact that he's easy to gear, easy to chain, easy to... just easy. He's just an easy unit to use. He'll fit into pretty much any team, because, I mean, because you only need 2 of him to do ridiculous damage, so you just bring yours and a friend. And then you can bring the rest as, like, healers, tanks, supports, and that'll work for pretty much any trial. So he's definitely, I put him... definitely number 1 top chainer, top damage dealer. Yeah, yes, he's better than Fryavia. Yes, better than Aileen, better than Roberta. Except when you want to AoE chain or when you're fighting a dragon, because Roberta will win there. But other than those circumstances, Orlandu's going to be top dog. I do know in the future, Aileen becomes a monster after enhancements. She gets a much higher multiplier than Orlandu. She does outclass him. And then obviously there's a robot trial coming, and since Aileen has Machine Killer, she will be probably preferred over Orlandu in that specific trial until her enhancements. So yeah, so definitely I'll just you know, I guess I'll leave it at that. I'd like to know what you guys think. You know, and I know a lot of people are touting Fryavia as like number 1, but they're just looking at a raw damage, you know, and it's kind of stupid to rate a chainer off raw damage. You need to look at the context of those numbers. You need to look at how they fit into a team, you know, how easy she is to gear, what kind of chaining she can do in practice, not just in theory using a macro. I mean, there's all things you got to think about when you're rating units. And in practice, I think you'll really just find Orlandu comes out on top, unless you can perfect chain Fryavia, which is not something I think most people are going to be able to do. So anyways, just want to make this quick video giving my thoughts on the unit rankings in global. I'm only talking about damage dealers. Of course, there's a lot of other units that need to be talked about. And if this video gets a lot of support, maybe I'll make some more here in the future, discussing maybe healers, support, or maybe I'll even make a video, you know, talking about where I think Noctis fits into teams, because he definitely is a very solid unit still. But I think right now, when I'm just talking about damage dealers, he doesn't really deserve to be in the discussion, just because the power he's bringing just can't compare to some of these newer units. Alright, so anyways, hope you guys enjoy, and thanks for watching.